Big Wolf and Little Wolf, written by Nadine Brun-Cosme and illustrated by Oliver Talick. Produced by Ben Manley, Micah Sundberg, and Luke Kastner. Big Wolf lived alone under his tree at the top of a hill. It had always been that way. Then one day Little Wolf arrived. He came from so far away that at first he looked no bigger than a dot. As Little Wolf approached, Big Wolf began to worry that this new wolf would be bigger than he. But as Little Wolf climbed up the hill, Big Wolf saw that he was small and felt reassured. He let Little Wolf climb right up to his tree. Little Wolf stayed under the big tree at the top of the hill for the whole day. Now there were two wolves under the tree, Big Wolf and Little Wolf. They didn't say a word to one another, but they watched each other out of the corners of their eyes. Their looks were curious, not mean or suspicious at all. Night came. Little Wolf stayed. Big Wolf thought that Little Wolf went a bit too far. After all, it had always been his tree. When Big Wolf went to bed, Little Wolf went to bed too. When Big Wolf saw that Little Wolf was shivering at the tip of his nose, he pushed a teeny tiny corner of his leaf blanket closer to him. That is certainly enough for such a little wolf, he thought. In the morning, Little Wolf was still there. As he did every morning, Big Wolf climbed up the tree to do his exercises. Little Wolf climbed up too. Big Wolf looked at Little Wolf. Suddenly he was worried that Little Wolf might climb better than he. But Little Wolf had to make 2 attempts. The first time he fell on his bottom and cried, "Ouch!" Then he started to climb again. This Little Wolf is brave, thought Big Wolf, and he let Little Wolf climb up as high as he to do his exercises with him. Before climbing down, Big Wolf picked some fruit for breakfast. He took a little more than usual. Then he prepared his meal. Little Wolf climbed down behind him. He hadn't picked anything. Big Wolf ate. He pushed a plate of fruit toward Little Wolf, and Little Wolf ate. After eating, Big Wolf went for a walk. Once he reached the bottom of the hill, he turned around. Little Wolf was still there under the tree. Big Wolf smiled. Little Wolf really was small. Big Wolf crossed the big field of wheat at the bottom of the hill. Then he turned around again. Little Wolf was still there under the tree. Big Wolf smiled. Little Wolf looked even smaller. He reached the edge of the forest and turned around one last time. Little Wolf was still there under the tree, but he was now so small that only a wolf as big as Big Wolf could possibly see that such a little wolf was there. Big Wolf smiled one last time and entered the forest to continue his walk. That evening, when Big Wolf came out of the forest, he saw nothing at all under his tree. "I must be too far away," he said to himself, smiling. After crossing the big wheat field, he reached the foot of the hill and still saw nothing under his tree. "How strange," he said to himself. "After all, Little Wolf isn't all that little." Big Wolf felt uneasy for the first time in his life. He climbed back up the hill much more quickly than on all the other evenings. There was no one under his tree. No one big, no one little. It was like before, except that now Big Wolf was sad. That evening, for the first time, Big Wolf didn't eat. That night, for the first time, Big Wolf didn't sleep. He waited. For the first time, he said to himself that a little one, indeed a very little one, had taken up a space in his heart. A lot of space. In the morning, just like every morning, Big Wolf climbed up his tree. But for the first time, he didn't do his exercises. He looked into the distance. Big Wolf looked for a long time. In the distance, there was nothing at all. He told himself that he could wait longer, for even a much longer time than he ever would have thought possible. Then, as he waited, he began to think all sorts of strange things. He thought that if Little Wolf returned, he would leave him a larger corner of his leaf blanket, even a much larger one. And he promised himself that he would give Little Wolf as much to eat as he wanted. He also decided that he would let Little Wolf climb higher than he and follow him through all of his exercises, even the special ones known only to him. He thought about all of that and many other things, too, as he continued to wait. And then in the distance, a tiny dot appeared. But the dot was so small that only someone who had waited as long as Big Wolf had waited could think that the dot was someone approaching from far, far away. For the first time in his life, Big Wolf's heart beat with joy. In the distance, the little dot grew. "Let's see if that little dot is the little wolf," said Big Wolf, and he told himself, "Even if he's much bigger than me, so what?" But he wasn't bigger. He was still just as little. It was definitely the little one. Little Wolf climbed up the hill and sat down under the tree. "Where were you?" asked Big Wolf. "Down there," said Little Wolf without pointing. "Without you," said Big Wolf in a very small voice. "I was lonely." Little Wolf took a step closer to Big Wolf. "Me too," he said. "I was lonely too." He rested his head gently on Big Wolf's shoulder. Big Wolf felt good. And so it was decided that from then on,